Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a nice day before we begin the video. Please subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. General Hospital fans, for your most outlandish theories about what's really going on in Port Charles. And you didn't disappoint. Here is something reader Mary Pesic would like to see happen. Michael, Rory Gibson, got burned in a fire meant for his dad, Sonny, Maurice Bernard, in his apartment. Why this tendency for Sonny's kids to end up in the line of fire isn't regularly brought up in the custody battles for Avery, Wiley, and Amelia, we have no idea. So Ava, Maura West, Drew and Willow are dangerous to the kids, but Sonny isn't. But who was responsible for setting the bomb? We know who the show wants us to think it was, but what if the real culprit was Helena Cassadine, Constance Towers? Hear us out. Remember how the evil matriarch brainwashed both Jason, Steve Burton, and Drew, Cameron Matheson? Has Drew been acting normally lately? Or even like, Drew? Drew's been acting like a completely different person. What if that's because he's been triggered by Helena to commit a whole host of crimes? What if Helena programmed Drew to set that bomb at Sonny's, and to not remember it afterwards? Drew doesn't remember being Helena's sleeper agent, but he feels that something is wrong. That's why he's acting so strangely. He is desperately trying to regain control of his mind and his life by controlling Willow, Caitlin McMullen. And he's fighting Carly, Laura Wright, and Michael because he associates them with Sonny. And that's his subconscious way of fighting off the knowledge of what he did. What do you think? Could this be where this storyline is going? And would you prefer it to where it looks like this storyline is going? Tell us in the comments, and tell us your personal fan theory too. General Hospital is no stranger to jaw-dropping twists, but a fiery new fan theory has exploded across soap circles and GH forums that could completely rewrite how viewers see the war waging in Port Charles. As the smoke clears from the recent bombing at Sonny Corinthos warehouse, questions multiply, and a shocking new suspect rises from the ashes. Drew Kane. Could the loyal hero with a complicated past be hiding a deadly agenda? Fans are dissecting every clue, and the evidence is more chilling than anyone could have imagined. Sonny has always made enemies, but nothing about this latest attack feels like old-school mob violence. This wasn't just a message, it was a statement, and one laced with intimate knowledge of Sonny's organization. Whoever planted the bomb knew exactly where to hit, when to hit, and who would be nearby. Jason Morgan has already ruled out the usual suspects, Selena Wu, Pikeman, and even Valentine. But what if the real traitor isn't on the outside? What if Sonny's downfall is being orchestrated by someone he once considered a friend, or worse, someone who once walked in Jason's shoes? Enter Drew Kane, the Navy SEAL turned businessman, a man with a tormented history, layers of memory manipulation, and a growing pile of grudges. Fans point to a timeline that makes Drew's motivations disturbingly plausible. After years of struggling to reclaim his identity, Drew has faced betrayal after betrayal, not just from the enemy, but from those closest to him. He returned to Port Charles a hero, only to find himself constantly compared to Jason, shafted in romance, caught in Michael's schemes, and pushed into the shadows of the Quatermain Empire. And now he may finally be done playing nice. The biggest clue comes not from Drew's words, but his silences. Since the bombing, Drew has remained unusually quiet. No over-the-top outrage. No scenes demanding justice for those endangered. In fact, he's been deflecting attention, showing concern, but without taking action. Some fans believe this is strategic silence, not apathy. While everyone looks to the outside world for suspects, Drew's just been watching, waiting, calculating. There's also his strained relationship with Sonny himself. While never enemies on the surface, there's long been tension simmering beneath their interactions. Drew has never fully trusted Sonny, especially after his messy involvement with Carly. When Drew stepped into the role of Carly's lover, It wasn't just romance. It was a move that challenged Sonny's power. And now that Carly's back in Sonny's orbit, Drew's jealousy could be metastasizing into something far more dangerous. But the theory doesn't stop there. Viewers are now recalling key scenes from months ago that suddenly look a lot more suspicious in hindsight. Drew's covert meeting at Aurora, where security cameras glitched. The shipment reroutes from the docks that Sonny didn't authorize, but Michael quietly signed off on, point to the emotional breakdown Drew had just before the bombing. After learning he'd been used once again in Michael's corporate games and manipulated by Carly, Drew lashed out. But not in the traditional soap style. No yelling, no drama. Just cold resolve. What if that's when he snapped? What if Drew finally decided to stop letting other people write his narrative? The aftermath has only deepened suspicions. Drew's support for Sonny has been practically non-existent. He hasn't visited the site. He hasn't pressed Jason for answers. In fact, he seemed more focused on reconnecting with Scout and distancing himself from drama. A classic misdirection move, according to eagle-eyed fans. And when Jason tried to confront Drew about inconsistencies, Drew shut him down with a suspiciously rehearsed line. "I don't have time to relive old battles." That doesn't sound like a man seeking peace. That sounds like a man who's already fired the first shot. Then there's the cryptic message found at the warehouse, graffiti sprayed hastily before the blast. While dismissed as gang vandalism, some fans noticed that the phrase "eyes open" was scrawled in navy blue paint. A coincidence? Maybe. But "eyes open" is a phrase Drew used during his Navy SEAL flashbacks. He once told Sam, "Eyes open. That's how you stay alive." Was the bomber leaving a personal message behind? Was Drew marking his territory? The psychological angle is just as compelling. Drew's past as a brainwashed soldier under Helena Casadine's control left deep scars. He's a man haunted by lost time, fractured memories, and unhealed betrayals. Viewers theorize that he may be suffering from a dissociative break, or worse, a relapse into covert programming. Helena's conditioning wasn't fully erased, and many believe some trigger, perhaps Sonny's threat to Scout's safety or Drew's sense of repeated betrayal, might have reactivated latent programming. What if this isn't the Drew fans think they know? Some are even speculating that Drew isn't working alone. Could he be aligned with a dark player from the past, Victor Casadine's network, or even a rogue branch of the WSB? The timing of the explosion overlaps with new weapons testing leaks connected to a mysterious private military contractor. Drew's military connections run deep, and GH has never been shy about pulling global conspiracies into Port Charles. Is Drew just the tip of the iceberg? But what would Drew gain by taking Sonny out of the picture? Power, for one. If Sonny falls, there's a vacuum in the Port Charles underworld. Drew might not want to fill it directly, but he could be clearing the path for someone else, perhaps Michael. Imagine a scenario where Drew removes Sonny, gains Michael's trust, and then manipulates Aurora and ELQ to control the city's future from behind the scenes. Not as a mobster, but as a strategist. The perfect clean-cut front for a darker agenda. GH has a long history of heroes turning dark. Just look at Luke Spencer's descent into darkness, or even Jason's years of morally grey decisions. Drew's fall from grace would be poetic and deeply tragic. A man who was once stolen from his life, now stealing peace from others. A man trained to serve now turning into a silent soldier of destruction. Could this be the twist that turns GH upside down? The fandom is divided. Some refuse to believe Drew could ever go that far. Others insist the signs have been there all along. One Reddit thread blew up with over 3,000 comments in a single night, all dissecting Drew's dialogue, expressions, and suspicious timing. One fan posted side-by-side screenshots of Drew's visit to the warehouse last spring and the blast location, noting eerie similarities in layout and access points. "This wasn't random," the caption read. "He mapped this." Whether the theory holds water or not, one thing is clear: GH is planting seeds for a massive upheaval. If the writers do choose to go this route, it would be one of the most shocking betrayals in recent soap history. Drew Kane, the loyal brother, the humble veteran, the forgotten son, turned mastermind. That would be a twist worthy of a sweeps month explosion. As Jason closes in on the truth, and Carly begins questioning her own instincts, Port Charles could soon be facing an emotional storm it never saw coming. What happens when you realize the man you trusted most might be the one who lit the fuse? What happens when Drew is finally forced to choose? Confess his role or double down and burn it all to the ground? If this theory plays out, nothing will ever be the same. Sonny's kingdom is already crumbling. Jason's loyalty is being tested. Carly's heart is cracking. And Michael is on the verge of learning that not every plan has a peaceful ending. And in the shadows, Drew may be watching, waiting, smiling. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our YouTube channel for more update news.